Hello everybody and welcome, my name is Ursa Ryan and this is an update video for December, which means only one thing. It means two things. You see, every time it only means two things. It's a little bit like saying 100% of the time it's 50% effective. You'll just have to forgive me. I'm playing a China game in the background and it's at super speed. Now, every now and then I like to treat myself to an actual game of Civ 6, but I play where I don't have to narrate myself. I just literally sit down in an evening and play for myself, and this was one of those games. Literally just was me, I think on a mirror map, one of those 4-player small ones. I pick up China, I build a bunch of wonders, I build a huge China wall. Wall of China, I guess, is one way of putting it. I don't know, technicalities of whether you want to say that or not, I don't mind, but this was the resulting game and I had a lot of fun doing it, so enjoy that in the background. But for once, we actually have quite a lot to talk about this update video, and the first thing to talk about is the Sieve Give. Now, I took part in that a couple of days ago and I had a blast. It was really fun. It was a real honour to be invited, even if it was just a guest slot. I really enjoyed it. I was only on for about 15 minutes and I had a whale of a time, and I saw a bunch of people popping up in the Twitch chat saying hello, so hello! I'm sorry I couldn't say hello at the time. It's this sort of really weird setup where, because I wasn't on Twitch, I was doing it via a Discord stream. It was quite difficult to see the comments coming in live, so by the time I really had taken in everybody sort of messaging, it was kind of too late and I'd been kicked off the stream by that point, so I'm sorry I didn't say hello at the time. The Sieve Give was a massive success from a charitable point of view. It was brilliant. There was so much money donated. I think 2K matched $25,000 onto, well, last time I checked it was up at like almost $40,000. So it's a huge amount of money that's gone to charity. If you fancy going to watch it back, it's on Twitch. The videos are on Twitch on the Civ Show's Twitch channel, and go and donate if you haven't done already. Really good cause, and it was a really good evening with some very heavyweight Civ players, which I think they were having a bit of a laugh. Well, outside of the fun that is Civ 6 multiplayer, but you know, they were having a good time, I think. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today was live streaming and multiplayer games, and specifically I do see quite a lot of chatter on Discord and on the comments as to why I don't do more of it. Have I considered ever doing YouTube Live, Twitch, or even getting into multiplayer games with people? Why don't I do more of it? And well, there's a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, it's all about my timetable, really. I work full-time. This YouTubing happens around a job that is quite time intensive. It's a 9 to 5 when it's behaving itself. Typically it goes on a little bit later, and lots of my YouTubing happens in the early mornings or in the late evenings, and it can be very irregular. That's why I do a lot of YouTube. If you think about it, I have, say, X amount of hours per week, maybe 15, 20, that I can shove into doing YouTube somewhere, be it 6 in the morning or 10 in the evening on a Sunday evening. I can find that time X amount every week, and I know I've got to put out a video every day. That's 7 videos a day. Sometimes it means I've got to be a little bit flexible in how I go about doing that. I'll film 5 hours one day and I won't film for another 2 days after that point, and the weekly timetable can look totally different from one week to another. One of the big things, I live in the Lake District. I've mentioned this many times before. It is beautiful. I love mountain walking. It's a fantastic, brilliant, soul-enriching thing that I massively advise people try and do at least once in their life. And the Lake District's weather is appalling, especially in winter. Right now, the sun is coming up at about 8:30 in the morning and it's gone by about 3:30 in the day, which sucks when you've got a 9 to 5. So if the weather comes out, and we had a couple of, for instance, last weekend, we had a couple of summer's actual sunny days on the middle of December. So I was absolutely thrilled. We had to drop everything and we left and we climbed some mountains, and that's a good example of where my timetable is incredibly flexible, and YouTube's brilliant for that because I know the videos have got to be done and I can just stack them up one after another, get the timetable sorted, and have 3-4 days videos in advance ready to go and move on from there. The problem with live streaming is that in order to make it work, especially on Twitch, but people want to see a regular pattern. It's like TV, right? You know that you are signing up for a TV program at a particular time. Otherwise, you're just watching a 5-hour VOD of me playing a game at 1/10 of the speed I would normally be putting it up on YouTube, because you get to see all of the gaps and there's lots of talking and all that sort of stuff. Like, yes, I know some people like that sort of video, but not everyone does. People like to see things at a regular time, and that sort of timetable at the moment whilst I work is incredibly hard to achieve. Now, I could just say, you know, I'll stream whenever, just randomly, and if you happen to be free, that's great. Well, that's fine, but I mean, the thing about the modern day world is that a lot of the live audience is in America, and I'm on British time, which means already I'm 5 to 8 hours behind, or ahead of where you guys are. You're behind. You're behind America. You're behind the British Isles, where you should be. Typically that means you need to be really, really organised, because I've got to do late night Twitch streams, you know, like 10 to midnight for me is like 5 to 7 for New York time. So you have to plan in advance. So, I mean, I could do them ad hoc, but getting that regular audience is going to be very, very tough. Additionally, I could do that thing that I know a lot of people do, is I just stream when I film YouTube videos, like, and then just, you know, I can say, oh, you can watch me film these live if you want. You can basically watch the unabridged cut, and then when the video comes out, you can be like, hey, I remember him doing that. I was there at the time. Maybe that could be fun, but here's the problem. The problem is reason number 2. My internet is terrible. It's really, really bad. I live in one of the most beautiful places in the world. I cannot take that away from my life. I love it so much. But the infrastructure here is terrible. It is absolutely awful. I think I get internet at the download speed of about 35 megabits per second, and I get an upload speed of about 4, if I'm lucky. If I put a half-hour video up on YouTube, typically it takes anywhere between an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, depending on the time of day. I think in order to reliably stream Twitch, for instance, you need 8 to 9 megabits per second upload, not download, but upload. And that's if you're pushing it. I just don't have that level of speed. So what you would see with me doing the live streaming is a very jittering, interrupted broadcast that might go down. It might be in like 480p. It would be an incredibly infuriating experience, not just for you, but for me as well. Could you imagine me trying to film this stuff and like every 10 minutes the thing is breaking and I'm like tearing my hair out? I don't have the hair to tear out, people. I have very little hair. So it's something that is a bit of a limiting factor. Now, my internet won't always be bad. Britain, in theory, is having its internet upgraded slowly. You can see the OpenReach vans going around, laying the lines every now and then, and perhaps the internet wagons will come to my neck of the woods eventually. Certainly, Cumbria generally, the county I live in, is scheduled for some pretty massive infrastructure, well-needed infrastructure upgrades at some point over the next 3 years. I don't know when that'll happen, but when it does, my God, I will get on that bandwagon. Like, I am the first person to be getting like a fiber line. When fiber rolls out, I will be buying 4 of the damn things and plugging one straight up my nose just so I'm constantly on the internet. Like, ugh. Actually, I don't know why I didn't let electrical noise. I don't think there's any internet electricity in a fiber cable, is there? I mean, the third and smaller problem with the whole live streaming and thing is that I'm looking to get internet upgrades, or equipment upgrades, I should say. My internet, yeah, I'm always looking to get an internet upgrade, but my equipment is upgrading as well. I'm in the process of getting a lot of new equipment that would help me to run that sort of live setup. It's a little bit of an investment of not just money, which, you know, I'm really, really grateful, and we'll talk about that in a later, that, like, you know, I've got the money on the channel to be buying that sort of equipment. It's as much of a knowledge upgrade as well. I've never done live streaming before, and there's quite a large technical jump in ability to be able to do things live on Twitch, not just to be able to Twitch, but to do it well. You know, like if I were to start to do it, I'd want to do it with skill, with a level that you guys would be like, yeah, this is really, really fun to watch. And until I'm at that point, I don't know, just doesn't feel right. This sort of spans to the other point I was making about multiplayer games. Why don't I do more of them? Generally, it's the internet speed. And I have found that when I play Civ online, Civ 6 and poor Sieve Give people, I felt so bad for Moy and all of the others who organised it. The multiplayer system that runs Civ 6 is temperamental as hell. It is awful. And if you throw into the mix somebody like me with a poor internet connection, any multiplayer game you'd ever get is going to be immediately scuppered. Like, I've tried filming multiplayer with people and it is a nightmare, and I feel terrible for the other people because they're having to like resync every 5 turns for me. It's infuriating for them. So I feel for them. I really, really do. I will get there. I will get there, don't worry. And maybe multiplayer, I could do other games of multiplayer. There's got to be other games that are far more reliable on a slower internet speed, you'd think. So maybe that's an option. But, you know, I just wanted to address live streaming multiplayer. In a perfect world, if I was doing this full time and I had better internet, I would do all this. I really would. I'd love to. I would really, really love to. But that's why I don't at the moment. Next up, I wanted to thank the Patreon support that I've got. Their support is amazing, and it always has been, and it always is. There's something like 16, 17 people that have signed up on Patreon at the moment, and it is brilliant. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's a website where you can sign up not just to me, but to artists and musicians and creators and a lot of people in that creative sphere, where basically you pay money every month in order to support them, and you get some sort of benefit from doing that. For my particular instance, if you sign up on Patreon, you get access to a special Patreon only section of Discord where I do a lot of scheming and planning. You can get your name at the end of videos. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do, and I'm always looking to adapt what happens with the Patreon stuff. I mean, and this goes out to the people on Patreon. You can always, you know, have a serious word with me about stuff. Like, if you think there's something else that I could be offering, let me know, because quite frankly, I'm making this up as well as you. So if there's anything that you can get out of this as well, brilliant, let me know. But to everybody, like Patreon, they are the people that keep me going, because it's that regular income to the channel that helps me to really invest in things like this new computer I got, you know, midway through the year. And I hope you agree that the content and quality of the videos that's coming out, especially on the larger games, is so much better than what I was running on my old laptop. Like, the computer is a beast and I love it, and it is probably shaved, I would say, 40 to 50% of the time of me filming and then me editing and rendering stuff just with the sheer hard drive power. Yes, it took me about 6 months to be able to fight for some sort of video card from the screaming crypto hordes of 2021, but we got there eventually, and now I've got it. It's fantastic, and it's that Patreon support. It's the support I leaned on really to get me this, so I'm so grateful. And this is kind of where I wanted to link this in. I wanted to reassure everybody that watches this channel, I read every single comment that comes onto my channel, every single one, okay? I genuinely do. I love reading them because 90% of the comments I get are just wonderful. There are some comments there that are a little bit, perhaps, critical or snooty, or in some cases a bit rude and nasty. You know, I'm used to it. I've heard all of the insults about how I sound and my sense of humour before, and my inability to say words. I know my pronunciation is terrible. I've spoken about this many times before. It's genuinely not deliberate. It's a thing about how my brain works and the sort of the way I spell and the mix of accents I've got in myself. You know, I've mentioned that before, and you know, I can take those comments to the best of people, but most comments are wonderful. They are lovely and really sweet, and I read every single one of them. But one thing that's happening at the moment, and this is just such a luxurious problem to have, but now that we've got 9,000 people on the that's nuts. But the comments are crazy. Like, I'm getting dozens of comments a day, and there are so many about, game ideas, and can you do this, and can you play this, and like, I see them all, and I really want to do every single idea that's thrown at me, but genuinely it's got to the point where I can't. If I played every game that you suggested I do, I'd be here for days every day. Like, it would take me 70 hours in a day to film everything, so I have to be quite select, and this is where Patreon come in really handy. I hope they feel appreciated, but I try to run my video ideas off them as I do them. If you have burning questions, if you have burning ideas you want me to do, if you want to be part of that furnace of helping me as a creator to gel and create the stuff on the channel, it's the Patreon crew that you want to be part of, because those guys are like my inner circle. They are my go-to creative brains of brilliance. And you know, you've seen a lot of the maps that I play, a lot of the challenge ideas, a lot of the things all come from Patreon. They really do help me to create the channel. So if you ever feel like you've put the same idea on like comments day after day after day after day, and it's like, Ursa Ryan's not seeing this. Yes, I am. I promise I have seen it. I'm really sorry. I can't film everything. I really wish I could. And sometimes I do just have to lean on the Patreon guys as, you know, my supporters. If you want to really push for something for me to do, then if you can spare the money, it's a great way of doing it. If you can't, I totally get it. It's absolutely fine. Keep on commenting, because I do still read the comments, and you never know, and I still do genuinely take ideas from the comments. I can't guarantee I'll see them all, but I will do my best. Speaking of 9k subscribers, which is just insane, I wanted to say thank you so much for all the support you guys have given me on the channel. It has been ridiculous. 9,000 subscribers. I started with just less than 2,000 at the beginning of 2021, so the growth has been amazing. If you'd offered me 4.5 times growth in a year, I would take it, because quite frankly, I'd take 4.5 times growth next year as well. Like, I think it's been like 3 years in a row I've had that sort of percentage of growth. So if this continues, god damn it, we'll take over the world. Brain, Pinky, and, you know, all of the evil critters, we will do it. And I know I've mentioned a few times the 10k by the end of the year thing. Honestly, having 9k, I don't even care. Like, you guys have been fantastic support. If you watch this and you haven't subscribed, or you know people that haven't subscribed, or you have pets with YouTube accounts, or you have just inundated yourself with child slaves that all have YouTube accounts, whatever it is, then feel free to fling them my way. But I just wanted to say thank you, and I don't really care that we didn't get to 10 by the end of the year, because I'm just so pleased with how we're doing, and it's mad. I see quite a few comments on something that came up a little while ago, which was the 50k, the Ursa Ryan goal, and I wanted to explain that a little bit, because I've heard people say, well, what's the 50k? Is it the 10k goal, the 50k goal? What's going on? The 50k goal, and I still stand by this, that is the point. 50k subscribers, where I've done the maths, I've worked it out. I think that's the point where I could afford to do this full time as a YouTube creator, as somebody with no responsibilities other than to make stuff that you would enjoy. 50k is about that sort of level, so I really am pushing towards that. I keep doing the maths every couple months, and genuinely 50k is about that sort of level. So that's why I mentioned it before, and that's why you'll hear me talk about it a few times. It's difficult being an adult, isn't it? I'm not some uni student anymore that has no responsibilities because I live at home, and, you know, or maybe in like student campus, and I'm just, you know, I've got no responsibilities, and I have a family, I have a mortgage, all the fun things that come with being an adult, and it just means I can't make that jump to being a full-time YouTuber until it makes economic sense. I'm sure like you guys would be in a very similar point. You can't just throw yourself, or maybe you can throw yourself into something blindly. I'd love to be able to do that, but 50k is that point that lets me take the reins off sensibly and be like, you know what, it's a bit of a hit, but I can make this work. So that's why I push for it. And if you ever fancy supporting the channel in a way, the best way you can do that for free is to sub, because the YouTube algorithm, she's a nasty mistress, I tell you, and she is just very image focused. The more subs you have, the more it suggests for you to be given out to other people, you know, and it's crazy. I've seen myself being suggested on loads of other YouTubers' channels now. Like when I started getting those comments saying, oh, I came from Potato's channel because of the algorithm, and it's like, okay, okay, great, I've hit that point there, right? Fantastic. And I wouldn't have done that before getting to anywhere near the sort of sub goal I was in. So the more you sub, the easier my stuff gets out. So that's genuinely the thing. So thank you so much for all the support you give me, everybody. And I just, it's just insane. And I have very little more I can say. My hat is doffed to all of you. I'm spinning my hand in a very posh British way here, but you can't see that. You're just going to have to keep watching me build wonders. So video ideas for 2022. I'm looking forward to the new year, actually. Will there be DLC? Will there be another Civ game? Who knows what's going to happen to the Civ 6 space? It's a bit weird because we had the new Frontier Pass coming through last year, and that was fantastic. So I'm really hoping we'll have more updates. But for now, I've got some new ideas and things that I want to do. The challenge games we've been running, I've been really enjoying watching you guys have a go. The Portugal game had such a strong, like, it was so good. It was so good. So many people took part and the files were so talented and, oh, I loved it. I have ideas for more challenges, but I need more. So I will be doing a sequence of votes and polls on the YouTube channel in order to get some ideas. I've mentioned Patreon before. I'm going to get them to help me to decide on what sort of stuff. I'm looking at the way. One of the big things I'm looking for, apart from new ideas, so do fling new ideas at the channel if you have ideas for challenge games. I get that. The more convoluted, weirdly the worse. The best challenges are the most simple premises. You know, like one thing where you're like, oh, a score victory, can you do that? Or the gold game that we played recently, like, what's your end game goal balance? Who does that? That's a really strange thing, so that's why it was so good. But one thing I am working on is how do we get consolers involved? If you play on a Switch, or a PlayStation, or an Xbox, or whatever it might be, how do we get you involved in the challenge games? I need to find a way of being able to replicate this so that the consolers can play as well. So thoughts very welcome on Discord. Come over and have a chat with the team to work out what we're doing with that. There's a thread on that called Challenge Discussion Chat that maybe you can give your ideas onto that. But I need a way to get the consolers involved so that you guys don't feel like I'm PC Master Race all the time. I am, secretly, but you know, I'm a benevolent master, so I want to get you plebs involved as well. I say plebs, I'm kidding. I mentioned before voted games. I'm going to do a lot more polls on YouTube to help me to build games because it's a really fun way of doing it. I love it. It was just like, who do you want me to play and what map and how many people, and just watching you decide what I put out. Like, it's always really good fun. I'm going to be doing more TSL content because of course I am. I love it. Why would you play with anyone less than 55 players? I don't know. It's all good fun. I like to balance my TSL content with my other smaller game content because quite frankly the TSL content takes more time to film for the end product that I get out of it. I have to edit much more strictly on the TSL content to stop the videos from being like 9 or 10 long. That would be ridiculous. So I do have to switch around a little bit, but generally I love playing the TSL stuff. I'm also looking into doing more shorts. You know, those really short videos that YouTube flings around, and I've got some ideas of stuff to do on that, but I need to have a play with those and to see if I can get something up. In the new year, I'm maybe sort of late spring to summer, I'm looking to do a couple of live action things, which should be quite fun. I know I keep mentioning this, there's stuff in the pipeworks, it's a lot of moving parts, but I'm starting to push things in that direction, and I'm really hoping that should be fun. I'm also looking, and okay, bear with me here, I'm going to be filming some other games. I don't know if the channel's going to be making a huge switch away from Civ 6, I can't promise that, but I'm going to be dipping into other games here and there, both strategy games and otherwise, using my fantastic comedic timing and approach to, you know, get you to have a laugh, but also, you know, in my usual sort of like casually successful way of playing games where I'm pretty good, although I don't really care what I do, and I'm very, you know, ad-lib and random in how I play. So we're going to be, you know, balancing the line somewhere between that. I've got ideas, but again, keep flinging stuff at me. I always absorb from the hive mind that is the subscriber base. So yeah, I've got some really cool ideas for 2022, but I look forward to picking all of your brains to basically help me to make the channel that makes stuff that you want to see. It's kind of the long and short of it, really, and it's fun to do it like that. Very interactive. It's really fun. I wanted to say as well about Discord. Last time I checked, there was like 1,700 people on Discord. It is nuts. Please continue to use Discord as a fantastic place to chat about Civ and other things. I have a lot of Formula 1 chat as well, which I do enjoy because I do follow the Formula 1 quite heavily. But the Civ chat is really good fun. If you want to ask questions about the game, you want to learn how to play better, you've got challenges, you've got the idea that you want to play multiplayer with people and you want to know the people you're playing with, come over to Discord because we've got facilities to enable all of that stuff. And also mods. Now, mods are possibly the main thing that gets asked about in the comments. Ursa Ryan, what mods do you use? Why don't you have a list of mods? Why don't you say in your videos which mods you use? Well, let me remind everybody of the same answers I give every time. I use a lot of mods. They're all generally user interface mods, so they don't change the gameplay at all or affect the save files. But if I went through every single mod at the beginning of every video, it would take forever and it would be a lot of repetition, and quite frankly I can't be bothered to keep a running list like that. I just play with them as I go along. Secondly, Discord is a fantastic community and I'm building my Discord. Yeah, I want people to be on the Discord, so I will keep the mod list on Discord because it's much more interactive than the YouTube comments. Like, if you want to know how to mod or what the mods do, you can come to Discord and ask the community, hey, what does this one do? Or how do I put it on my computer? Like, it's far more interactive. So I keep them there for a reason, but I want to funnel people to Discord, yeah? So I deliberately keep the mod list there. I know you guys find it a little bit annoying. Oh, I don't do social media. Oh, I don't have Discord. I don't keep the mod list. Well, you know, there's dozens of YouTubers out there and they all use the same mods I do as well. So I'm sure someone will tell you. Maybe someone in the YouTube comments will tell you, to be fair, if you do ask. I'm not gonna say that they won't, but I specifically keep the mod lists on Discord for that reason. I want to funnel people to Discord, and it is a fantastically fun way of doing that, because once people find the mod lists on Discord, they generally find a community that's a lot of fun that they stick around with. 1,700 people on Discord, yeah? That's huge. There's a massive Discord community, so make sure you use it. It's really good fun, and there's a lot of very like-minded people on there. So I do it deliberately. If you see people flailing around asking for mods and mod lists, just remember to mention Discord as a thing. I know sometimes it's not the answer they want, but you know, sometimes in life you have to look for the answers, you know? You have to just go on a journey rather than being fed everything immediately. So that's what I'm going to say there. Finally, on future update videos, I hope you've enjoyed me playing this game. It was a really, really good fun game, actually. It was I think I sort of had logged off work, I cracked open a cold one, and I just sort of played, and it was good fun. It was really, really good fun. I hope you're enjoying having this as a background on these sort of update videos. I was thinking about what else I could do this. If you wanted to see a webcam just of me chatting, you can see my face, maybe that's better for people. I mentioned before about filming myself going for like walks or runs around the Lake District and doing the update videos, going out and about. Maybe that's something I could do as well, especially because I'm investing in some new equipment, so that could be fun to go and do. I was thinking as well, Q&A sessions, like maybe a Q&A for the 10k sub goal. Would that be something that's good? Maybe I put a couple of posts up about that as to what you guys want to see asked, like an ask me anything sort of thing. That could be good fun. I was thinking about doing more votes on like future update videos and what you want me to play in the background. So, you know, maybe I'll make these update videos a little bit more interactive. Maybe I'll ask the Discord community, and maybe I'll ask the Patreon community about what they want to do with all these things. I enjoy doing these update videos. You guys tend to respond well to hearing about what I'm up to and what's going on in my life. So I kind of feel like I vented a lot in your direction, and hopefully you took everything you needed to from that. But I like the idea of doing a 10k Q&A. Like that, I feel, is like a really cool thing. Maybe I should do like another 10k goal of some kind? I don't know. Maybe we should have done that. Who knows what I should do? I don't know. But as this China game winds to a close and I start to look through all of the victory screens, I just wanted to say once again, thank you so much, everybody, for coming along with the ride with me. I've enjoyed 2021
finally, a very special
far more
shout
than I
out
should
goes
have done.
to Scott Stratton,
with
Major King
pandemic
Kong,
and
Matthew
everything
Wilkinson,
flying
Salty
around.
Tech,
Stay
Midnight Oil,
safe,
Trafford
stay
Aspie,
well,
Paul
get your
Coffey,
vaccines,
Senjik,
you
and
plebs,
Brand
and
Trail Mix
I'll
for
see
all
you
of
all
your
next
support
time.
on Patreon.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much.